What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Firefly Wrestling Podcast. We changed it from Bearded Fireflies to the Firefly Podcast. And today is November 17th, 2024, the year of our Lord, the year of the dragon. We're just going to cut the American dragon out because he's not even a part of it. We're moving past that. We're moving on. It really is the year of the dragon, which is crazy.
That's good.
The year of the scapegoat. The year of the OTC. Let's go back to Roman. Yeah, let's go back to Roman. All right. We got you, Solo. Today we got a pretty action-packed show. We have NXT to cover. We got Raw, SmackDown, your normals, and what it's going to look like in the future. We got a new championship update, which is pretty cool. And so before we get into the action, before we talk about this past week in wrestling, Chris, how was your week, man?
It's been up and down, man. Work's been just work. Got my new mattress in yesterday. Pulled my back trying to pull those boxes in, so that was fun. And we booked. So obviously, you know how expensive the WrestleMania tickets were. That kind of flopped on my end, unfortunately. So me and Caleb ended up getting tickets to go to the Royal Rumble instead in Indianapolis.
Sick. Nice. That's pretty awesome, man. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, man. I mean, I figured it'll be seen as last Rumble, so either way, we'll get to see him before he's out. So,
yeah, definitely. And then there's also other shows going on during the year, so we got to look at the schedule and see, what other shows are going to be on this year. Hopefully, he's on every PLE or a majority of them this next year.
From what I heard, I think he has like a total of 15 dates. I'm not.
I
thought it was 25.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll see what the schedule looks like, and hopefully we'll be able to put out something to you guys as far as seeing us dates here in the near future. How's your new mattress though, bro? Is it good?
It's good, man. It's comfortable. Hold on, before pop a cold one.
Had a pop a cold one. Awesome. Is that the juice one?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, that's the best one. That's the best one.
Mattress is good though, man. First time in a while, I knocked out fairly fast.
That's awesome. JR, man, how's your week been?
How's my week been? It's been interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
I'm at the final hurdle here of taking occupancy of my apartment soon. So it's been kind of a little stressful trying to get a hold of my lawyer and amongst other things. So it's we're trying to get this get it all sorted out there. I do have to go down there. Apparently, I do have to do an inspection about the home itself. Apparently, I have to do that a week prior. So I got to schedule that. Just drove my folks on Friday to their trip here. They're actually halfway across the world over in Australia. So they're taking a 2-month vacation around Australia, Singapore, the Philippines, and all that. So I'm basically playing house sitter here at this home for the next couple months while doing all that as well, for the most part. And work's been okay, still, steady. Got a lot of time, a lot of off time the next little while since I kind of front loaded all my vacation. I didn't use it throughout the year. So basically they must be a few months back. It's like, you better use it. I'm like, okay, you won't like how I use it. So it's like, okay, I'm using it for the rest of the year. And, but yeah, steady.
Nice. That's awesome. This past week or for the last week and a half, I've had my best friend in town since he's been my best friend since 2010.
Nice.
Met him on a deployment in Afghanistan, and so he's been in town chilling with us at the house. I took him to Gettysburg, I'd never been to Gettysburg, so that was really cool to go and visit that. Him and I are both huge history buffs. I live like half an hour from Gettysburg. Never been there, so it was really cool to go there and experience that. We went to Antietam Battlefield, where in the town I grew up in. Got to show them that little bit of history. And we went to DC. We went to the Spy Museum in DC, which was really cool. Really interesting stuff. And on the way out, I bought a Donald Trump hat, a "Make America Great Again" hat, which is odd to find in DC, but I bought it because you never know when you're going to
That
run
is
across.
actually hilarious.
I know, right? Um, it was the last day they were selling. They were selling all of the MAGA gear half off, so it was cool. They had a bunch of Biden hair or Harrison and Waltz stuff in there. It is what it is. We're not here to talk politics. That is very divisive. We are divisive as enough as wrestling fans. But aside from that, went to go see the new Venom movie. It was great. Really awesome movie. If you haven't seen it, I advise going to see it if you like the Venom series. And finally,
How would you
from
compare it to the other two?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. It was a good way to leave you on a cliffhanger because it is called The Last Dance. But there's two post-credit scenes, so you got to stick around for the whole thing if you want to see the post-credit scenes. The last one leaves you on a cliffhanger, so I don't know if they're bringing back the Venom or if any of that.
I heard from a couple people that I follow and a couple of people that I'm friends with that it's the worst of the three. I love the Venom series. I just really wish they would have pushed an R rating for both of the other movies because Venom is an R-rated character, as is Carnage. I'm kind of nervous seeing this new one because my expectations are super, super low. But I'll give it a chance.
I enjoyed it because they brought more symbiotes in, right? Like it's not just Carnage. It's not just the other one from the first. Yeah, there was like 10 or 15 different symbiotes in this one. They introduced Null in this one, which was really cool. If you follow the comic books, he's the Destroyer,
right?
And so yeah, man, it's really really cool. There's a lot that they can do with this potentially new bit of the series. So yeah, I fully enjoyed it. I had a great time with it, and I ended up coming back and watching Let There Be Carnage because the last time I watched it, I really didn't pay attention, and I picked up on a lot this time watching it. So it was super cool. It was really cool to watch. Oh, we lost Chris. But anyways, then we I know I watched it and JR watched it. We watched the Tyson and Jake Paul fight. I will say, match of the night had to be the women's match. Man, those two women absolutely came out swinging. There was blood. There was hanging eyebrows. There was split eyebrows, dude. And honestly, in my honest opinion, I think Serrano should have won. She had more landed punches. And the Katie, I can't remember her last name, but she had two technicalities against her, and they only dropped 1 point. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it like she got robbed, and I feel like the whole internet feels that way too. JR, what do you feel about that fight?
The women fight, or we're talking about the
women's fight?
The women's fight, yeah, it was nice to back and forth, like you said, very bloody. I actually had to turn around a couple of times. As I mentioned, I was actually at a poker night that day. While he had the fight on, but yeah. Well, aside from the buffering issues, which I don't want to really bring all that up there. That's 60 million people watching it, so there's a lot of people watching it overall. But yeah, very back and forth there, like you said. Could have gone either way. The judges. You don't want it to go to the judges because they could think differently. That's the main issue. So it's like Serrano should have won, absolutely, but I guess the judges know otherwise, and
Yeah.
That's judging
Yeah.
for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And before we get into the streaming, something I want to bring up that I brought up on my Facebook. Um, the next fight, the main event was Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Everybody kind of shit on that, right? They shit on Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. We all kind of knew that it was going to be either Tyson knockout or go to a decision. And it went to a decision. Um, and it was a very slow paced fight. I think there was one or two major blows, one for either side, and then after that, it was just dancing around, going,
Yep.
ropes to ropes, length of the ring. Now, I brought this up, and I brought it up to Jr. And it's something that I kind of read on the internet, and then I started thinking about it. I was like, it makes a lot of sense. After Jake got hit by Tyson, he created that distance, which is what he wants. That's to his benefit. He's got the reach on. He hit Tyson once, and then I think personally he came to his senses and realized he's fighting a 58-year-old man, right? And this is a lose-lose for Jake either way. Either he knocks Tyson out, or he beats Tyson, and he beat a 58-year-old man at 27, or he gets knocked out by Tyson or lose to Tyson, and you got beat by a 58-year-old man. So it's a lose-lose. So, personally, I enjoyed the fight. I didn't enjoy staying up till 12:30 to wait for it. You know what I mean? That kind of sucked ass. I had some family and some friends over, and it was just kind of like, come on, let's get to the fight. Somebody knocked the fuck out of somebody, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was decent either way. But the streaming, the reason why I want to bring the streaming up and talk about the streaming is there was issues on Friday night of, with the, was it Friday? Yeah, it was Friday night. There was issues where it's just continuously buffering. I know at one point I sat there and it sat on 25% buffering for a hot minute. That presents a problem because Raw is moving to Netflix in January.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that because Netflix had this issue with the streaming, do you think that it's going to be an issue later on down the road in January, or do you guys think that they're going to work their shit out?
They're gonna work their shit out. They had
They're gonna
60 million people. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. Raw's never gonna see a traffic of 60 million people to watch any of their shows. It's just not gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Unless we have a pandemic.
I'm not gonna make an excuse for Netflix because it was a piss poor job on their end to make sure that everybody who are newly signed up people just to watch that fight. I mean, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah.
But at the same time, WWE is not going to make a $5 billion deal over something that's going to fall through the floor. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. JR, what you got to say about that?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Basically, it's exactly what Chris said. They saw the issue, so now they know what to do when it transitions in January in this case here. So hopefully, and then like you said, he said they made a $5 billion deal for a reason.
Yep.
They know what's coming, so now they know what to do, and now if there's more issues, then they'll have to sort it out. But they made that commitment, so we got to ride with the punches now.
Absolutely. Now, here's my question, because they haven't covered this or talked about this at all. Are PLEs staying on Peacock or on Peacock, or are they going?
Peacock. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure. All right, cool. So we're gonna move on to Monday Night Raw, and Monday Night Raw was decent this week. It wasn't like bad, but it wasn't like anything great. We started off the show with a Gunther promo where Gunther came out and said, Damian Priest was the number one contender for his championship. And before he could get anything out, Damian Priest came out and said, hey, look, I already know what you're going to say about me. You're going to say that I'm a bum, that I'm street trash, that blah, 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 blah. And he pretty much said, you've lost your aura. He told Gunther that you lost your aura, which if you look at the way that Gunther is carrying himself now, after Crown Jewel, I mean, we've only seen 2 weeks of this. It appears that he lost his confidence. Don't know. Um, but they were going back and forth, and Gunther didn't have a response. We saw Ludwig Kaiser come out, and Ludwig was pretty much saying, "How dare you undermine the champion?"
Mhm.
This, that, and the third, and then we had Damian Priest pretty much come back and retort to Ludwig. Ludwig came back and made a retort, and Gunther shut it down. This is the second week in a row that Gunther shut down Kaiser. Now, is that going to create friction between the two? Don't know. But we saw Kaiser get knocked out of the ring, and then Gunther went to attack, and Priest stopped him. Gunther left the ring. That was the end of that segment, which is going to lead up to a match later on. It always does. It appears that now Damian Priest is full-fledged babyface. He's rocking a Bad Bunny shirt. But it feels like at this point it is being forced. The
Yep.
Damian Priest face turn is being forced. How do you two feel about this current face run of Damian Priest so far?
I'll let Jared go first.
Oh, okay. It's interesting. I wouldn't say it's forced because like we already knew it was already building up like midway through his mid-world title run, especially with the dissension with Judgment Day in this case here. I mean, he is getting good reaction, which is good to see, and all know he's a good talker. But I mean, it's perfectly fine. They need a nice baby face over there on Raw nowadays, because nowadays, like the balance between heel and face is kind of ugh. So we don't really know who's face, who's the heel, and all that. So you kind of need that kind of top tier, well, not top tier, but like middle tier baby face on the roster. So then that way you have the big stars up there, and then you have someone there you can always rely on and just be, have a good reaction. So I don't really think it's too forced, to be honest. I mean, it's okay, but I mean, like I said, he's getting good reaction, and then people seem to like him. So
Okay, Chris, what you got?
So going in that fatal 4-way match, man. I didn't want Damian to win. I tossed around the idea of Dom, whatever.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like Rhea. It kind of feels like, he's going to be in that main event scene, whether we like it or not, kind of thing. And it's like, I don't dislike Damian at all. I love Damian. Damian's a great worker and one of the best talkers. But
absolutely.
do we constantly need to rotate out the same fucking people? Like, this is my perspective on the whole thing. It feels like how Roman was champion. We had the same people rotating in and out of his title reign facing him, right? How many times did we see Kevin Owens versus Roman just to have the same result?
Yeah.
Exactly my point. 3 times. Yeah. We're on our second Gunther and wait, is it second or third? Second?
It'll be the second, so that's not too bad. It's just a second. So.
Yeah, it's a rematch. Yeah, and I just think with as little of a build as we're being given for it, I really was not crazy about that promo Monday. I don't like the whole. I don't want to say burying, but that felt like a burial promo. It felt kind of like Gunther's been this unstoppable cyborg, and then all of a sudden, he's gotten beaten by Cody Rhodes, so he's not that cyborg anymore. So let me just cut a promo eviscerating his character.
Yeah.
I'm 100% more invested in Ludwig and Gunther than I am Gunther and Damian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, I mean, I don't see them taking the strap off of Gunther anytime soon.
I hope not.
No, he's a hell of a champion, and I really hope that they don't put it on Priest.
You have to make it the title. When he loses the title, it has to be significant in this case here. So whether it's, if in this case you're not playing future Booker, whether it's Cena winning his 17th to break Ric Flair's record, or
Yep.
it's someone we see out of left field, which is the Royal Rumble winner, possibly, because it's like we don't even know who's going to win the Royal Rumble at this point now
Right.
for the men's side. Because I think personally, I hate to say it, Chris, but I think I know who is going to win on the women's side because it does look like it. But on the men's side, it's like you can't really put someone like Damien right now on top in this case here, unless in this case here, it has to be someone significant. That will make sense story wise.
I wouldn't mind Rhea winning the Rumble. I just don't want her to win the title. I'm just tired of the same shit with Rhea. I don't hate Rhea at all.
You just want someone else. Like you just want something different. Right. Yeah, I understand.
Right. I just want a women's division where we're not rotating on the same stars. Same with the men. The mid card title, whenever we get to that, is a great idea because we don't have to rotate out the same main event stars. We can build up those stars to eventually get to the main event scene.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll go into Royal Rumble predictions later on in the show, but I'm definitely invested in Kaiser and Ludwig as well. I would love to, or Kaiser and Gunther. I would love to see it, and I think that would be something great to elevate Kaiser to another level because the man's already great. Let's elevate him even fucking further. He's a hell of a talker on the mic. But yeah, so our first matchup in the night was Damage Control versus Pure Fusion Collective. We also didn't know who the third member of this tag team was going to be with Io Sky and Kairi Sane, but we got the return of Dakota Kai after the injury sustained by Shayna Baszler and Pure Fusion Collective. And now I'm just going to say, man, I enjoyed this match.
Yeah.
It was a fun watch. Pure Fusion Collective, we shit on them quite a bit, but this, in my opinion, this was one of their best tag team matches. And I'll just right here, I'll do one of these deals because Pure Fusion Collective put on a good match.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Shayna's got to go.
Yeah. She ain't going for a while. She just resigned, so she ain't going for a while.
Yeah, I just her ring work is just so unbearable to watch. I don't know what it is, man, but Jesus Christ.
Well, I think, and I know that we talked about this, but her losing to Becky at WrestleMania hurt her, in my opinion, because she was. She went into that elimination chamber and decimated everybody systematically.
Should have won. I know.
She put everybody down.
But at the same time, you also got to remember the timeline of when everything was happening too. This is around the time when the pandemic was happening. This is around the time when Vince was pretty much dead set on killing everything that Triple H did.
Yeah,
and she was one of those projects, and still to this day, I will say that Vince exposed all of the things that aren't good about Shayna. She's not a good character. She's not a good promo, and she's average in the ring when it's not blood sport.
Yeah, very very true. So next we got a backstage segment with Xavier Woods. He was sporting a Baron Corbin shirt. So that was pretty cool to see.
We miss you, Corbin.
Yeah, we do. And him and Kofi Kingston were talking, and pretty much R-Truth came up and called out Pete Dunne again, called him Butch. And he was trying to fight Truth, and and Xavier Woods was in the background watching all this. Yeah. And Kofi challenged Pete Dunne to a match later on. And this is further dissension between the two, right? This is more of a hatchet. And we'll see what happens. Well, that's the next match. So we have Pete Dunne versus Kofi Kingston. And we seen Xavier Woods interfere in the match. He hit Pete Dunne and and Kofi came out and said, "What are you doing? Like, why are you doing this?" And he said, "You should be focusing on the match. Don't focus on me."
It's all about winning.
It's all about winning. Yeah. He said it's all
And
about
now
winning.
we've gotten to a point of
We lost Chris again. So I think what Chris was getting to and alluding to is we've gotten to a point between Kofi and Woods where there's got to be a split, right?
Yeah.
They have to pull the trigger. And if I'm not wrong, tomorrow is their episode, right?
Oh, is it? Oh, I did not realize that. Okay. Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure tomorrow is their episode.
Oh, okay.
Where
no, it can't be. Well, I don't think it should be because they taped this already last week. Unless someone read spoilers on that, because they taped this episode for tomorrow was taped last week because of Thanksgiving. So it probably will be the week after.
Yeah, so it'll be the next Monday, but they have to pull the trigger, and I'm hoping that they pull the trigger on that anniversary date, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, has to be.
All right, Chris, what were you saying?
I give up on my laptop, dog. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I was just gonna say now we've gotten to a point where we don't know who's gonna turn.
Yeah.
When do you think that turn is coming?
I would say either on the 10-year anniversary show or the week after.
I really hope it's the 10-year anniversary.
So it kind of reminds me of when they were beating the tag team title Day Reign, when they were beating that record, and then they lost it immediately after they beat the record.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's what Triple H's goal is here. I mean, it makes sense. I think they should do like a Gargano and Johnny style turn where they're having their very last match together or whatever, and then whoever's going to turns on the ramp.
Yeah. To close the show. In my opinion, that has to close the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better make that a good ass match if New Day is going to close the show, man.
Yeah.
They are not a ratings draw.
No, they are not. They're not a ratings draw. But people will stick around to watch because they're waiting to see what the fuck is going to happen. Mm-hmm. This and I'm going to do a callback to this. This reminds me of the Rockers, Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels, right? Who is going to be the Jannetty and who's going to be the Shawn Michaels?
Who's going to be the coward?
Yeah. I personally would love to see Woods in that role of...
Woods needs to be the guy who turns. 100%.
Yes, Woods needs to be that guy.
I would say if Kofi could cut a promo, I would say him, but he's not a very good promo guy.
No.
And Woods,
Kofi's been doing this for a minute, man.
Yeah.
And Michelle says, "Peace, love, and Oreos." What's up, Mama? So. Yeah, man. Whatever they do, however they're planning this split up is going to be. I hope they do it right. And with Triple H, I'm pretty sure we're going to get something really good.
It's going to be done right.
Triple H loves to see a slow burn with everything, and I feel like most of everything has paid off.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that hasn't really fully clicked together is the Final Testament. And I think the Wyatt 6 is helping that a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
My bad, Jared. I didn't mean to cut you off, bro.
No, don't worry. I was going to say, yeah, you're exactly right on that.
Yeah. Next, we seen a Bronson Reed promo. Bronson Reed was pretty much talking about, how Seth Rollins was a formidable opponent, but that the next time that they meet in the ring, it's not going to be that way. But he said that he called out not Shawn Michaels. He called out Seth Rollins, and they got into a brawl again. And he said, "Anytime you want to get it, we can get it again." They got into a brawl. Security got thrown the fuck around, and the brawl lasted until after the commercial break. So it looks like we are going to be getting Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins part 2.
Mm-hmm.
One of the good lines in this promo, Reed, Bronson Reed was talking about how Seth Rollins said that he's a good competitor. He said, "I'm not a competitor. I'm a beast, or I'm a monster," which is awesome. Yes. So next match we had Damian Priest versus Ludwig Kaiser, and it went exactly how you thought it would go.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Good match. Good match between the two. Solid match, but it is what it is. Priest beat Kaiser. Um,
I'm
after that
looking
match,
forward to the era of Damien or of Ludwig Kaiser picking up a singles win.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. If not multiple, he deserves it. So we had a promo backstage or a segment backstage with Adam Pearce and Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins said, "I want the match. Give me the fucking match." Um, and you know, Adam Pearce said, "All right, you're gonna get the match." Um, and as Adam Pearce was walking away, Sami Zayn came. Essentially, what happened was, early in the show, Sami Zayn went to the Usos and said, "Hey, we got to find a fifth member." And they were looking around. We saw Jey Uso in the back talking to Rey Mysterio. Obviously, that didn't pan out.
Yep.
Everybody speculated on that, and Sammy said, you know better than anybody about how Roman is, um, but we need you on the team." And Seth came back and said, even if pretty much he was like, even if this house was on fire, I wouldn't team with fucking Roman because I know who he is as a person. That was a really good segment, and
Yeah.
and he said, as you of all people should know, what happens with Roman when you get on his bad side. So next we had Karrion Kross threatens the Miz. Miz was in the back. He said, "I've changed my ways. I no longer want to be a part of this. I just want to exist. I've seen the error of my ways." And AOP dragged the Miz out to the ring and threw him down. And they called out the Wyatt Six. Wyatt Six came out and surrounded the ring, and they got in the ring, and the Miz, in pure Miz fashion, was calling their bluff, and they beat down the Wyatt Six.
Yeah.
That's the second beat down that we've seen, including the Wyatt Six, where either a member of the Wyatt Six or the Wyatt Six himself have gotten beat down. I personally don't think that this hurts them at all.
No. Not at all.
Here's my thing, man. I think if you're going to do something like this, like obviously they're all human beings, and we're trying to walk the lines between supernatural and non-supernatural, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think if the lights would have gone out and they would have disappeared, and then we would have just got like a laugh after Karrion Kross was walking up the ramp, and you got the Bo Dallas laugh, like he's been doing, then I would agree it doesn't make them look bad. But I think these beatdowns are so, I don't know. I wouldn't even say bad. They feel weird. And I think it's just because AOP hasn't done shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. Like, it feels really weird. And then I wasn't really a big fan of The Miz getting in the skull crushing finale either. I felt like that was really off base too. I didn't really care for that either.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think that it hurts them. I think the fact that, Bo Dallas or Uncle Hottie was laying on the ropes laughing at them. And then you got that shot of Karrion Kross saying, "What is wrong with you?"
Right.
Like, who are you? What is wrong with you? That was good because, we saw Karrion Kross. He's pretty much like Martian the Manhunter, right? Like he's going to he's going to come in there and beat everybody's ass. And just to see, like, he couldn't get the job done and put them down. I think that was great. Now, we do have a question from Michelle. She said, Damien has Rhea like Triple H has China or had China. What do you guys think?
Rhea has a presence, but she doesn't have that China presence. I see that comparison all the time. She does not have that presence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I agree, but also I think that the Rhea's going off, and they're going to go their separate ways, and that's good because I mean the Terror Twins are cool per se, but I
It
mean
feels
like
like an
that.
internet thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it really does, really does. So our main event has potential. Yeah, if done right, everything has potential. Then we have I think it's the main event. Yeah, yeah, the main event, which we seen a women's tag team championship match. We had Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
Fantastic match.
Yes.
Very good match. Very good match. So we seen that we seen pretty much all the women that have been involved in the storyline with Jade and Bianca interfere in the match. So it looks like we may be getting a War Games match with the women, which is cool.
Yep.
But you have both of your women's champion, right? You have all of your women's champions in one match.
Unpopular opinion. I don't think the women's division needs a War Games match.
No, I'd like to see a traditional Survivor Series match.
Yeah. Yes. Give me the Wyatts and the Final Testament in the cage, bro.
Yeah.
Please. Oh my God.
But Scarlet in a cage. Oh, Scarlet in a cage. Scarlet in a cage. Respectfully.
Absolutely, I'd be for it. But I don't think that this needs to be a War Games match. I think that the women should have the traditional Survivor Series match.
I agree.
Elimination style. Somebody brought up an idea of having a War Games traditional Survivor Series elimination match, where if you get pinned, you get eliminated. But that defeats the purpose of the War Games match.
War Games, yeah,
where you have one decisive winner,
right?
And so I don't know, man.
Here's the way that I look at it, man. If we were going to have a women's War Games match, they need to start that build yesterday because we are 13 days away, I think. Yeah, 13 days away from that pay-per-view. Yeah. You are not going to build a War Games match that anybody's going to give two fucks about in 2 weeks.
Right? One moment.
Okay.
Yeah. Continue.
Yeah. Seems rushed. I do agree on that because it's like you literally are putting your 10 quote unquote best on the roster in terms of the women's division in one match, but the build is like very convoluted because it's like you have the tag division, you have the women's side with Liv and Nia and all those. It's like where does everybody else fit in? But it's like okay, just get the 10 best. The other ones are being put aside for now. And I guess it's in this case here because it's War Games. They had to, by default put a women's one in there just so that the people don't get all pansy about the fact that why did the women get one match? It's like that kind of thing because they're always complaining nowadays.
I mean, you could also do a Survivor Series style match with the Wyatts and the Final Testament too.
That's true. We haven't had that in a while. We should have.
Yeah, I would agree. But like you said, like we said, it was a solid match, really good match, and I don't know what's going to happen. 2024 has been the year of the women.
Yeah,
they've been absolutely tearing it the fuck up, and it's been great to see them tear it up. I can't wait to see what they do next year. Now this begs the question: are they going to bring Becky back for this?
Absolutely, she's 100% coming back.
She has to.
Becky, we're talking about Becky.
Yeah,
absolutely.
She'll be back at the Rumble. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they're doing the Survivor Series match,
no. They're not gonna. They wouldn't rush her 2 weeks doing that.
Well, they also did bring her back last year for it.
This is true.
Yeah. That's true.
But she was also on the roster though.
Yeah. We also
she's coming back for Survivor Series. I think you're right. She's probably much like with Charlotte, who probably you don't want to put her back right away as well. In this case here, I think with both Charlotte and Becky, you're bringing them back after a Rumble season. So
yeah, absolutely,
bro. The women that are on the shelf right now, Some big ass names, dude.
Yeah.
Asuka, Charlotte, and Becky. Even though Becky's not really on the shelf, but
yeah, and you also have like you also have Shotzi. You have Kiana James, who are also injured. It's like there's a lot of
did we ever
talented
find
women.
out what kind of injury Kiana James had?
I did not realize. I don't know. I have to pick it up, but it seems pretty significant if she's not on TV right now.
Right.
Not even promo-wise, because she's a good talker. So.
What about Michelle McCool?
No.
Michelle said, "What about Michelle McCool? You know, she's great. I love her in ring work, but she needs to let the current women do their thing, much like Trish.
Yeah.
Except Trish can actually go.
Yeah. So Michelle McCool and Trish, they're great in the ring. You know, they do what they do. But I feel like if you're going to bring them back for a reason. Don't bring them back forever.
Just listening. Yeah.
JR, so that was the last bit of Raw. JR, what we forgot was today in wrestling history. So do you want to cover today in wrestling history?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to turn on my computer one more time, boys. Hold on.
All right. Cool. I'll pull it up here. So, yeah, we can share that for you right here. And, there we go. Perfect. So we're going to cover two of them. We're going to cover last week and this week, in this case here. So we'll start with November the 10th. Yeah, that's Sir William Regal on here. 1991, Dick the Bruiser passed away at age 62. His death was caused by internal bleeding after unknowingly bursting a blood vessel whilst weightlifting. I didn't know you could do. That makes sense, but damn, that's pretty intense there. 1993, Clash of the Champions, WCW, took place in St. Petersburg, Florida. A star-studded card was headlined by Ric Flair, retaining the World Heavyweight Championship by DQ against the late Big Van Vader. Elsewhere in the card, one of my favorite tag teams, the Nasty Boys, defeated Sting and Davey Boy Smith, Rick Rude and Road Warrior Hawk. Rick Rude and Road Warrior Hawk fought to a double countout in an international heavyweight championship match, and the Shockmaster beat the Equalizer.
The Shockmaster.
Equalizer. What kind of things are those? 1997. On an episode of Monday Night Nitro, Eddie Guerrero beat Rey Mysterio to win the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. So this was after that classic Halloween Havoc match, which everybody still talks about to this day. I remember that. And then they had a match after in their pay-per-view known as World War III. So they kind of, had those back and forth there. 2000, WCW taped Monday Nitro for the London Arena in London, England. The biggest news of the night saw Lance Storm defeat General Q.G. Rection, aka Hugh Morris, to win the United States Championship. And in the main event, Scott Steiner and Sting defeated Chronic, better known to fans, Brian Adams and the late Brian Clark, aka Crush, the APA knockoff, if you remember, everybody remembers that. 2008, going back to England, at the O2 once again in London, England, William Regal defeated Santino Marella to win the Intercontinental Championship. If I remember, it was under 2 minutes.
Dude, I think wasn't that around the time when Regal was doing his ECW run?
No, it was shortly beforehand. He just
that ECW run was so much fun.
Yeah, so he just became King of the Ring, if I'm not mistaken, or he just actually no. This is after he became King of the Ring, but then he had to take time off because of substance, and then he got back, and then he got Layla. If you remember Layla, she became his buxom or valet there, and he won the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, and 2009. James Gibson, aka Jamie Noble, has announced his retirement from wrestling. He suffered a back injury the week prior against Sheamus, left him unable to continue his 14-year wrestling career. Although he did have one matchup last year, if I recall, kind of like a retirement match with WWE. He did. He was with I believe Braun Strowman. I can't remember exactly, but he was able to come back for one more match in Hanover, West Virginia. They were competing in, and they were able to bring him back for one more match. to kind of
Was
close
that a
that deal
live
there.
show?
What's that?
Was that a live show or was that a
It
Raw
was a
show?
live show. Yeah, it was a live show. It wasn't any Raw or SmackDown. It was just
Okay, that makes sense.
house show. It was a house show. Yeah.
Gotcha.
WWE in 2011 unveiled their logo for the future, the WWE Network, that was eventually launched in 2014. The logo will be adopted by the whole company soon after. 2017, and then in 2017, at an Impact Wrestling taping in Ottawa, Canada, Matt Sydal defeated EC3 to win the Grand Championship. So it's like one of their other titles that they had in TNA back then. Yeah, it's a little weird there. Notable wrestling birthdays. Dave Christ, 1982. So that's part of the group there with Jake Christ and your favorite, Sammy Callahan, in OVO. in TNA. And one of my favorite wrestlers and everybody's favorite, 1981, Ryback.
Cryback.
Eat more, whatever. 1977, Katrina Lay, aka Winter, aka Katie Lee Birch.
Katie Lee Birch was awesome.
She was great. Yeah, she had a good theme song in TNA. Actually, it was really catchy there.
Bro, unpopular opinion: the Paul Burchill character was fucking awesome.
Yes, it was.
The pirate or the
pirate,
just the
yes.
pirate. That was good. Yeah, that was very good.
Yo,
yeah.
him swinging in was incredible. I don't care.
Put that man in the Hall of Fame.
yeah. That entrance by itself was just amazing. It was really, really cool. And it was really catchy. Yeah. It's very cool. 1966, Bill DeMott, aka Hugh G. Retchen. And 1950, Mr. Cowboy Bob Orton. Sir.
Oh wow, nice.
And then
correct me if I'm wrong. Bill DeMott is the guy who WWE fired because of the harassment shit.
Yeah. That
basically what Matt Bloom is. Yeah, he's basically what Matt Bloom is right now, the head trainer. Yeah, and then Matt Bloom became the trainer after all that stuff happened, like you mentioned. So
Matt Bloom is the GOAT.
Yeah, he's the basically the leader there. Yeah,
Prince Albert.
Prince Albert.
Just don't Google Prince Albert.
Yeah, Google it. Google it. I dare you.
No. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. All right. And then November 17th, just going to stop screen and then share it again. And then one more day. So today.
Oh, huge erection.
Huge erection. Yes. There we go. November 17th today. Start here with 1996. WWE presented their Survivor Series from Madison Square Garden, New York. The show is remembered as one of the most historically important in the history of WWE, most notably marking the television debut of Rocky Maivia, aka The Rock, who became the sole survivor in his debut match. So for those who don't know, I actually know who was in that match. So it was Rocky, Mark Marrow, the stock. Oh, I want to call him the stalker, but it was Barry Windham. He had this kind of kind of camouflage stuff there. And their mystery partner, which happened to be Jake the Snake Roberts. And their opponents were the late Crush, as mentioned, Brian Adams, Goldust, Jerry Lawler, and crap, I can't remember the last person.
Wasn't Rocky's father in that match?
No, he showed up in the WrestleMania like 5 months after to help him out in this case here. Can't remember the fourth one, but anyways. But yeah, he was the sole survivor. But also in that card was the very famous Bret Hart's first match since WrestleMania that year, where he lost the Iron Man match to HBK. His first match against Stone Cold Steve Austin. A very classic back and forth. If you remember, we actually went back to that Cody match with Gunther a few weeks back. That's where the finish came from. That little, the $1 Million Dream on him, and then rolled him up for the 1, 2, 3, and started a historic run.
Bro, I'm still in awe with how they were able to pull off that finish, because the way that Gunther just caught that man was insane.
That was insane. It was, because we know that's kind of dangerous when Cody does the top rope version of that. Yeah. But he caught him like with ease, and then they rolled up. It was like, it's quite interesting there. And then, of course, it was Psycho Sid in the main event who got a rousing ovation over in New York City. If you remember, he came out, started going like this. Who's the man? who's the man? And
Best of the universe.
he got the big reaction there in New York, and he defeated Shawn Michaels to win the WWF Championship.
Bro, rest in peace to Sid, man. My
yeah,
God.
man, I'm
Severely underrated.
What a
Yeah.
special human being he was.
one of the best big men in the game there. I always loved it. If you remember seeing the 1-2-3, there was a girl in the front row with a camera. She goes, and then and she like, and everyone's like, ah. But that was a great show. I remember 1996, very very significant there.
There he is, the
1997.
blue chipper. Rocky Maivia.
Yeah, the rookie. Now that's gonna be a blue chipper right there. That's what that's gonna be the man. That's what he said. Jim Ross did. 1997, WCW Monday Nitro was in Cincinnati, Ohio, and in the opening segment, NWO introduced their newest member, Ravishing Rick Rude, sporting the traditional mustache. An hour or so later, Monday Night Raw aired its pre-tape show from Ontario, Canada, 700 miles away. And Ravishing Rick Rude was in the ring with a full beard. As it turns out, WWE officials thought they had extended Rude's contract, but he had other ideas due to the Montreal screw job and jumped to WCW, becoming the only wrestler to appear on both shows on the same night.
Absolutely.
That weekend, he also appeared on ECW Hardcore TV.
He's a fucking goddamn magician.
Yeah, man. Rick Rude. Oh, man. What a guy. On the same show, this big man sat down with Jim Ross to talk about the Montreal screw job and gave his now famous Brett Screwed Brett speech. So I'll just read real quickly here. Some would say I screwed. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Sorry.
Some would say I screwed Bret Hart. Bret Hart would definitely tell you I screwed him. I look at him from a different standpoint. The referee didn't screw Bret Hart. Shawn Michaels certainly didn't screw Bret Hart. Nor did Vince McMahon screw Bret Hart. I truly believe that Bret Hart screwed Bret Hart. And he can look in the mirror and know that. As far as screwing Bret Hart is concerned, there's a time-honored tradition in the wrestling business, but that when someone is leaving, that they show the right amount of respect to the WWF superstars, in this case, who helped make you that superstar. Now, you show the proper respect to the organization that helped you become who you are today. That's a time-honored tradition, and Bret Hart did not all want to honor that tradition. And that's something that I would never have expected from Bret, because he is known somewhat as a traditionalist in the business. Would have never crossed my mind that Bret would not have wanted to show the right amount of respect to the superstar that would help make him, and the organization will help make him what he is today. Nonetheless, that was Bret's decision. Bret screwed Bret. There we go. 1998 on Monday Night Raw, Gilbert, defeated Christian to win the WWF Light Heavyweight Championship. If you're in the Job Squad, that's they had him in there.
Oh, Gilbert.
2002 WWE Survivor Series returned to MSG, New York, and was a night full of title changes. So Billy Kidman pinned Jamie Noble to take the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. In a hardcore match, Victoria pinned Trish Stratus to win the Women's Championship. And the Big Show became the first man to pin Brock Lesnar to win the WWE Championship in a match lasting just under 4.5 minutes. So I did not realize it was that quick. And Los Guerreros defeated Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit and the team of Edge and Rey Mysterio in a triple threat elimination match to win the WWE Tag Team Championship, which, by the way, this week was the unfortunate passing of Eddie Guerrero. So I want to give a shout out to my idol, one of the best to ever do it. And Viva la Raza, Eddie. We miss you. We love you. Rest in peace, man. And in the first ever Elimination Chamber match, Shawn Michaels defeated Triple H, Booker T, Rob Van Dam, Kane, and Chris Jericho to become the World Heavyweight Champion. We all remember the year he came back, and then he came back for this match. Also, significant Triple H suffered a trachea injury because of the cage. Because they screwed up on the cage, screwed up on the chamber there. They didn't give him enough room to jump and all that. So thankfully they fixed that. But yeah, that was a significant one. 2014 on Monday Night Raw, Luke Harper, the late Luke Harper, love you too, brother, won the Intercontinental Championship with a win over Dolph Ziggler.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Good match.
Good match. Yeah. 2018 NXT War Games was held in the Staples Center. The show opened with Matt Riddle making his takeover debut, defeating Cassius Ohno within a few seconds following a knee strike. The War Games itself went over 45 minutes with the team of the War Raiders, Pete Dunay and Trevor, emerging victorious against the Undisputed Era, or what's left of them, now that we look at them nowadays, of Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly. If you recall, Trevor and Pete Dunne did a double pin on Adam Cole, but they didn't really follow up with that after. At the time, Adam Cole was the champ at the time. And on 2020, on an episode of Impact Wrestling, the Rascals competing in their final match for the company, Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz would then go on to join NXT as MSK. So that's Fort Wesley, formerly known as Desmond Xavier in this case here. Notable birthdays, only have one. Mercedes Martinez, 1980. And that
okay. Really quick.
Yeah, sure.
So AEW posted happy birthday to Mercedes, but they put Mercedes Moné instead of Martinez, and they got community noted.
Are you serious?
Bro, I swear to God, it is the funniest community note I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yeah. Look at the group chat really quick. Oh my God.
All right, so here's our little segment of where we talk about AEW for a moment, and it's not because Jesus, wow, wow. So with AEW getting the Hurt Business, pretty much like they got the Hurt Business, they got now the Hurt Syndicate. I see a lot of people saying, because Shelton has come out and said, all I ever wanted to be is heavyweight champion. They said, if I have the pin to the company, you throw the championship right on Shelton. Why? Why do you do that? Right? Like, we don't want, everybody has a problem with if somebody comes to WWE and you want to throw the championship right on them.
Motor City Machine Guns is a great example.
Right. Everybody had a problem with them throwing the championship on Motor City Machine Guns because they haven't been proven, but they're one of the best, tag teams in the world. Mm-hmm. But then, like, on the same coin, you say we want to throw the championship, the AEW championship, on Shelton Benjamin because he's always wanted to be champion. Doesn't make sense. Make it make sense.
Here's my thought process on that. If they put the world title on Shelton Benjamin, they'll look at it as, oh, well, Tony did something that Vince and Triple H never could. That is the only reason they would do that.
And it would be
to WWE. That's it. Not because they value Shelton.
It would be the same thing that they did to Swerve.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yes. And it would just be a waiting game at that point of who would take it off Shelton. Right? Like, you would be better pressed to put the championship on Bobby Lashley.
Yep.
In my personal opinion.
So,
because he's a bigger star, in my opinion, than Shelton.
Here's my problem with both of those guys holding any titles. Half of that roster, if not most of that roster, is a quarter of their fucking size.
Yeah.
They gave Shelton Benjamin a loss to Swerve Strickland, who, okay, former world champion, sure, I'll entertain.
Fine. Right, yeah.
But everybody else on that roster, what are you going to have Dean Ambrose beat fucking Bobby Lashley?
No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the only presentable threats to the Hurt Business aren't on TV. Hobbs is playing second fiddle to Ricochet.
Yep.
Wardlow hasn't been seen in over a year. Lance Archer is doing fuck all with Brian Cage.
You mean Timu Drew McIntyre?
Yeah, exactly.
And I agree with that. Like, there's no formidable threat, right? And that's the problem, is like they just want to hotshot these champions, and then you've got, like, I mean, for fuck's sake, dude, you got Miro, and I know, Chris, how you feel about Miro?
I love Miro's okay.
I love Miro. I've always loved him since he was a Rusev. I don't care. You got Miro, who's a hell of a fucking competitor, and he could sell dropping the championship to somebody. When he held the TNT title, he made that shit more prestigious than Darby did, than Sammy Guevara, than anybody that's holding it now. He made it worth something, And then,
But look what happened when they took the title off of him. Nothing.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you've got people on that roster that could carry that company, but unfortunately, they're wrapped up in stupid shit, and like the company is doing fuck all right now. Like their numbers have been atrocious, and they're continuing to plummet. If I'm not wrong, Jr., didn't you send us something that said that they canceled their December 7th show because it was
so they were supposed to be in the Nationwide Arena on December 7th for Collision.
Mhm.
But they had canceled it, and they're going to be moving into a smaller stadium, which they should be doing in the first place.
Right.
In this case here. Now, I know we, throw shots at them all the time, but, this makes more jobs, which is fine in this case here. Just move to a smaller venue. Don't worry about, trying to get the bigger venues and you can only fit 1,800 in there because it's like, it makes you look stupid. If you it's like saying if you're getting Cowboy Stadium, that's a perfect example. It's 100,000 people that can fit in Cowboy Stadium every week for football.
Yeah.
If let's say they got that for their all-in show, whatever, and then they could only fill 20,000, that's a loss on Jerry Jones. That's a loss on all the people that own that building in this case here.
Yeah.
Because so it doesn't matter what Tony pays. What those people in the buildings, those stadiums, those 18,000, 20,000 venues, and they only can get 2,000 people in there. That's a loss on them, in my opinion. So it's like,
I don't think they're gonna fill that stadium with as many people as they think they're going to. I really don't.
no.
Look,
it's not an attraction anymore. That whole company has lost its new car smell.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. If you're only able to fill 2,000 seats a night, go like JR said, go to a fucking venue where you can sell those 2,000 seats and look or present as sold out.
Yeah.
On TV, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. NXT does that shit all the time.
Yeah.
NXT will go to smaller venues because they know that they can pack the house at smaller venues.
Right.
And that's a fucking smart business model to follow. But unfortunately, Tony's got this big vision, and nothing wrong with having big vision. That's cool. Big vision, but the numbers aren't matching up. So go to those smaller stadiums, go to those smaller arenas where you can pack the fucking house in a standing room only. Yeah, it may look like a goddamn bingo hall, but at the end of the day, you're putting asses in seats. You're not losing any money at that venture.
Exactly. Yeah.
There was a day where they could sell out AT&T Stadium. Not that day is gone and past.
So here's one of the biggest problems AEW has, in my opinion, besides existing, of course. I truly think we're at a point where how many dream matches have you heard commentary say there is? What matchup in AEW could you possibly put in All In Texas that people are going to be like, wow, yeah, I really want to go and see that? Now, look at the flip side. Look at WrestleMania in Vegas, regardless of those ticket prices, because they're going to sell those tickets.
Yeah.
We have the potential of John Cena versus somebody really big. We have the potential of Roman Reigns versus The Rock, which is arguably one of the biggest main events of all time. We have Gunther versus whoever the fuck he's going to face. That's just
Cody
the main
versus
event.
Orton. Yeah, Cody
Cena
versus
and
Orton.
Rollins.
That's what I'm saying. And then you got the women's side. The AEW women's division, I'm sorry, there is no valuable part of that division. Their world champion has to come out like a fucking stripper and do lesbian type segments to get attention. Is she attractive? Yes. Is she talented? Yes. But she does not draw ratings. She does not draw enough attention for anybody to give two shits. I'm sorry. Mariah May, as talented as she is, hot-shotting her to the title was a mistake.
Though their best women's competitor is not frequently shown on TV. Serena Deeb, hands down the best,
and she's a charisma vacuum.
Yeah, I mean she can cut a fucking promo.
Look at what they did to her this past Wednesday. I saw a clip of Britt Baker struggling to beat whoever the fuck she was facing. Serena Deeb came out with her flag, didn't cut a promo or nothing. And then the camera pans to Britt Baker and says, nobody cares anyway. Why do you say that on live TV? Character or not? Why do you say that? You're cutting down your women's division for no fucking value. Britt Baker is a shell of herself. Mercedes Moné and her big ass forehead is not carrying that women's mid card division. Camille is a fucking joke. Chris Statlander was something a year ago. Now she's playing fiddle to fucking Mercedes, who we know she's not going to put over.
Nope.
No, definitely not. Yeah, I mean, it's a sinking ship.
Don't get me started on their men's mid card division.
Gee, that's terrible too. They have so many goddamn championships in that company. It's stupid. And yeah, I don't know. But would you guys like to move on to NXT?
Please and thank you.
I do have to go to the bathroom, so I shall be back. But
okay.
All right, no problem.
Take it over.
All right, cool. All right. So you said you want me to cover the ECW show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that the deadline build for the show afterwards was okay, but I'd rather focus on the ECW.
One of ECW? Fair enough. All right then. So we will go back a couple of weeks here, November 6th here, which was the day after a certain election there, which we don't talk about here. This is all wrestling. This is all wrestling here, but we're going extreme here from the 2300 Arena, ECW Arena. We had Vic Joseph and Booker T, of course, hyping it up. We had the beautiful Dawn Marie. By the way, Dawn Marie, beautiful.
Respectfully.
Good to see her back in programming there. She was the referee for a quite the slobber knocker of a match between Jada Parker and Lola Vice.
Yeah.
You know, and honestly, I know we always harp on Miss Lola there, but she showed up. She showed up in this case here.
I have a gripe about that match. I really do.
Fair enough. Okay. So yeah, it was a good back and forth, good, nice hardcore match. It ended with with Jada Parker using a brick over Lola Vice's head and then hitting that little hip check move. I guess they call it the hypnotic, and for a solid victory there. So they're building up Jada once again very nicely there, ending their rivalry there.
So the ending was my gripe. I feel like if you're going to smash, fake or not, or gimmicked or not, if you're going to smash a brick on somebody's face, that should be the finish.
Yeah, that's true.
Lola no-sold a fucking brick. And it's like, I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
But that finish should not have been like that.
Yeah, they should have. Yeah, with a center, with something like that. Yeah, with something like that, you should really have knocked them out. So it makes sense there. Absolutely.
A great match. Hats off to both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. Good job. Once again, shows why the women's division is one of the deepest it's ever been, which is great. We then had a segment there with Ethan Page and your favorite, Rich Holland, basically hyping up the match here, saying Ethan Page, the fighting city of Philadelphia, the birthplace of America, which I find fitting that an Englishman and a Canadian are here to bring the fight to Trick Williams and Bubba Ray and ruin tonight's night of nostalgia. And I'm not going to say what Ethan Page says because I'm not going to bother. And then we promise there won't be any monuments or statues, no fairy tale endings, especially no tables, like what Ethan Page is saying there. So we then had a interesting segment here with Rob Van Dam and Kalani Jordan. We both had they were doing the splits there, kind of hyping each other up. And then RVD says that if Kalani wants to be stand out tonight, stand up by pinning Fallon in tonight's All-Star Tag Team match. Kalani gives RVD the directions to Ava's office, but then we had a little ruckus there. We find that Wes Lee was attacking RVD with a steel chair, so we'll see how that builds up there later on. The family, D'Angelo family, ran into Sean Spears and Brooks Jensen at Tony and Nick's Philly cheesesteak restaurant. Very Italian there. But then Nunzio out of nowhere pops up. If you recall, he got a phone call the week prior, and it turned out to be Little Guido himself there, the Nunzio of the FBI, along with, I didn't even recognize that was Tony Mama Luke until he said it. So I was like, okay, interesting. He wants to know why the Don hasn't been answering the phone calls. Next week on NXT, Rizzo said he was going to take on the Nikita Lyons. And then Nunzio says that the Don is going to be paying a tax tonight by giving him a crack at the North American Championship. So we have a match later on with Nunzio and Tony D. We then have a matchup here next with Wes Lee versus Javon Evans. As expected there with Javon, we're always impressed by
Fantastic
him.
match.
Very, very good stuff there. And Wesley, of course, he's really playing this heel, this son of a bitch heel role very well. I'm very impressed with Wes, how he's adapted this new kind of aggressive side of him, which is great to see. So it ended with RVD distracting Wesley, of course, and then Javon Evans got the win with the springboard cutter there. And then he also got the 5-star frog splash as well, right in front of RVD. And they celebrated with that victory there. So Javon Evans gets another solid pinfall. We then had Eddie Thorpe wanted to discuss business with Ava, but she was busy, so she headed towards the ring. So that one's whatever. We then had, and then Ava was there with Mr. Stone and Stevie Turner, and they announced that Deadline was coming Saturday, December 7th in Minneapolis, and that the Iron Survivor Challenge will return. So we had qualifying matches coming up, as mentioned. In this case here, it's a little bit of banter between, and then Mr. Stone then went all heel on the city. He goes, "Well, you said Philadelphia fans are the most hardcore fans that there is, but everybody knows that New York fans are way more hardcore than Philadelphia fans." He goes, "Why would you say that?" "Well, to be real, to be very honest with you, hear me out. Truth hurts. I mean, Boston fans are hardcore than Philadelphia fans. In the good days of ECW, I get it. You people are the top of the town, but just like the Phillies, just like the Eagles, your time has passed."
Bro, that was some super good heat that man built up in that crowd too.
Of course, man. Mr. Stone, man. I mean, he's such a shit disturber sometimes. And oh man. So
the
good.
Way they closed that segment was brilliant.
Yeah, and then the lights came down, and then we had a TNA Hall of Famer and an ECW legend, and one of my favorites, Rhino, making an appearance here, giving the
He looked great. He looked great.
He looks good. No, he looks good. Yeah, he's doing some decent work in TNA still, so not too bad. And but yeah, he looks rested. He looks well. He still looks strong, especially in the tree trunks there with the legs. So he's looks good, and it was good stuff there. We then had the babyface team of Julia and Stephanie Becker and the rest there just preparing, and then Metaphor tries to pick a fight with Julia and Becker. So,
which, by the way, heavy shout out on Metaphor, bro.
Yes,
because
I agree.
Jakara and Lash, in my opinion, are one of the best breakout women's tag teams I've ever seen in my life.
Especially Jakara, because if you think about the fact that she hasn't had that much ring time since that wrist injury she had, that kind of held her back a bit. But the fact that she's showing up, I'm very impressed with Jakara as of late there, especially because she's showed up with all the action she's had. And then of course Lash. I mean, come on, the Lash is just leaps and bounds right now, showing what she's at, in terms of growth and the fact that she's playing her role well. She's a powerhouse, but she's also impressive in the ring too, which is just
you know what spot lives rent free in my head. I don't remember. Was it Kyrie saying that Lash picked up like a giant child, like a fucking child?
Yeah.
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah.
I lost my fucking mind when she did that. I'm like, there's no way, bro.
And then Kyrie's like, "Oh shit!"
Right? She just threw her ass up on her shoulders. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, I'm like, holy crap! Is Lashman strong? I guess she is. I'm like, oh, holy crap! But yeah, kudos to her. Kudos to the Metaphor. Absolutely, there. We miss you, Noam. By the way, we miss you. We can't wait to see you back here.
Yeah, buddy.
We then had the tag match with the champ Trick Williams and Bubba Ray Dudley, Hall of Famer, versus Ethan Page and Ridge Holland. Decent match for the four there. I don't like the finish though. I know you're shaking your head on that because I don't like the fact that he got another win. Because I don't like the fact that I don't like the fact that the champ keeps getting pinned, which is kind of
Here's my thing on this match, man.
Sure.
I understand Bubba was there to not take anybody's spotlight, and I genuinely appreciate that because Bubba is one of the best tag team guys of all time. In my opinion, I think the Dudleys are the best of all time. I don't think anybody comes close. Yep. This match, I think, was probably one of the worst matches put on a card. I'm going to be 100% honest with you.
Okay.
I really tried to enjoy it. I love Ethan Page, but god damn it, Ridge Holland brings down that match so hard. And
Yeah.
like, I don't like shitting on the guy because he got attacked for a year and a half. His family got attacked because of the Big E shit.
Yeah.
I get it, man. But Ridge Holland is worse than Lance Storm when it comes to no personality.
Oh, shit.
And I don't know what HBK sees in the guy. I really don't.
I don't know.
And I appreciate that HBK doesn't give up on talent.
Yeah.
But Ridge Holland is dog shit.
Yeah.
He proved he couldn't carry a match with one of the best in-ring guys, Andre Chase, at Halloween.
Yeah. Which begs to differ what, especially with this week. I'm really hoping that's not the direction. I mean, it is sort of the direction we're seeing Deadline going with Trick in this case here. But I mean, I'm just hoping they change their mind and they somehow make it a triple threat or whatever with Trick.
He's just not it, dog. That pin really pissed me off too.
Yeah, I know, and it's like I always say this word. It's a filler for Trick in this case here because they got to give him something at least to build up to because they're going to build up someone new at this point to kind of take the top, try to challenge Trick going forward here in this case here.
And the fact that we had this card and we had two back to back questionable matchups.
Yes,
going into the next match, I'm not gonna lie, man. Nunzio, yikes. That whole match was yikes.
Yeah, that one was a little bit intriguing there. Before we get to that match, that aforementioned match, we had my favorite, Carmen Petrovic, talking to Ashante the Adonis. Stay out of her business, Adonisly. She also took issue with Ashante flirting. And then he basically said happy belated birthday. She goes, oh, you remembered it was my birthday. It's like, whatever, you guys have a love connection, whatever. We then had the aforementioned match as mentioned, Nunzio versus Tony D'Angelo for the North American Championship. Went short, which is fine in this case here.
Nunzio just looks so bad, bro. Oh my god! Like I would have much rather them chance the Mama Luke guy than this fucking bozo.
Yeah,
I love Nunzio. I love the FBI back in the day, but god damn it, bro! What are we doing?
I know. That's very, very weird. At least the match was short, so at least we didn't have to complain too much.
It was short.
Yeah, and of course, Tony D'Angelo gets the victory and retains the championship. Then they hug. Then they're like, yeah, we have pizza after. Whatever. We then had William Regal. I think this was actually from previously. He was talking to Alexis King about not taking the easy way out in the Heritage Cup championship match he had with Charlie Dempsey. He proved to Regal that he's not his father's son. And then Regal then went to Charlie himself. And he asked if he's his father's son. Charlie says basically that only time will tell. But then he also mentioned that, Regal's been keeping an eye on the lower quarter catch crew. And then he also gave some pointers to Miles Bourne and Tavian Heights on going after the tag division, which,
my intrigue level for the no quarter catch crew is up here.
Yeah, because I'm a big fan of Miles Bourne in this case here, and I know you're a big fan of Tavian Heights, so I think it's their time to shine in this case here. So
I agree.
Interesting to see. We then had Nikita Lyons kind of basically explaining why she became heel in this case here, because they had to turn someone heel, so good on her. Whatever. We then had Ava then go to Axiom and Nathan Frazier, and then she'll inform them of who their next challengers will be in the coming weeks. And then Frazier basically says, I look forward to having the next week off. Right, whatever. And then we have the build-up for next week's matches, which was, the ones that we saw this week, which was the Dragon Survivor qualifying matches, and then also Fallon Henley taking on Kalani Jordan in a rematch for the Women's Championship. By the way, since we're not covering that week, shout out to Kalani and Fallon. Solid main event this week. Yeah.
Yes.
It's good to see Fallon finally getting some shine,
Whatchamacallit? Ren Sinclair better be in the Deadline match, man, because I think out of every female there outside of tag team competitors, I think Ren has more than deserves her spot there in Deadline.
Yeah, something tells me she's getting fed to either Zarya or Becker or whatever, or someone like that, or Julia, in my opinion, because yeah, you're gonna have a very solid deadline match anyways with the women, and it's good to thank God that old tits there didn't win her qualifying match against Soul. So you know, yeah, I think you and I breathed. I'm glad you and I breathed a sigh of relief. I was like, okay, thank God. And I'm
Bro,
like, okay, if you can breathe a sigh of
Cora
relief.
Anderson's got to go, dog. Oh my god.
Flat on her back.
Flat on her back like she's used to, bro. My god.
Jeez. Respectfully.
Disrespectfully.
Fair enough. We also had an appearance from Francine, ECW legend, in the front row.
Another one who looks incredible.
Yeah, good on her. Good on her. I'm glad that she's looking good too. She's
Respectful.
We then had the mega main event with the 10-women tag match with Julia Vakur, Stephanie Vakur, Kalani Jordan, Zarya, and Jordan Grace versus the champ, Roxanne Perez, Tits McGee there, and the Fatal Influence, of course, in this case here. You know what? 10-woman tag with some of the best, and then Cora in this case here. But they all showed up, honestly.
Every single one of them, bro.
Every single one of them showed up there. Zarya got some good stuff there. Jordan, obviously, we made jokes previously, but we know that she's very impressive and she's looking good, and she's does great. But yeah, it ended with an interesting little ending here. Perez rolls Zarya back into the ring. Zarya blocks the crossface, and Zarya uses Perez's legs as a weapon. Perez kicks Zarya in the face, but then Perez decks Grace with the elbow smash, and then Zarya inadvertently spears Grace. So I don't know.
What a goddamn spear!
Well, it's a good spear, yeah, because Zarya's got some power there. And then Perez with Perez with a spinning back kick, but then Zarya blocks the pop rocks, and then connects with her F5, which is the fact that I'm seeing a woman do it and do it perfectly is just I'm glad that
if I'm not mistaken, she's the all three of them have beaten Roxanne in tag team.
Yes. Yeah. So it begs the question. It's like you can't put all three of them in the deadline match.
Fatal four-way, bro. Fatal
four-way with oh my god. It's like holy crap, who's winning in that? It's like that's
Stephanie. Stephanie should win.
You think Stephanie would take the first one? Yeah. Okay. Makes
sense. Because either I don't want to hot shot Zarya, man, but goddamn it, Zarya is a beast. And
yeah.
I feel like she's one of those special competitors that if you don't put a title on her, I think it'd be a mistake.
Yeah. That's true.
Although you could put Zarya to be the one to beat Fallon, and then either Julia or Stephanie is the one to beat Roxanne.
Yeah.
And then Roxanne gets called up at the Rumble.
Yeah, because she's going to be called up. Roxanne's going to be called up at some point, so you got to build up somebody out there. Because I don't know how much longer you're going to keep Fallon and JC as well. Because it's like they've been in there for too long, so you could technically call them up to be like what Toxic Attraction should have been. Because like if they were called up, they would have been a mega heel.
Which also, by the way, it's super annoying that people say that Fallon Henley is the new Mandy Rose. It's like you guys are fucking stupid, bro. But
no, she's not. She's so far from it. She is far from it.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
So annoying.
Absolutely not. But yeah, of course, the babyface side won, of course, and then that ended the ECW Arena show there.
One of the greatest, multiple person tag team matches I've seen in a minute, and it wasn't too spotty. It wasn't let's everybody get their shit in. It was a genuine fucking match.
It was good. Everyone got to showcase for the most part there.
Julia, I think, really stood out in this match for me because I think it was either against Roxanne or it was against Cora where they were trying to get one up on Julia. And Julia is like, nah, fuck that. I'm from Stardom, and just completely plows her ass into the ground.
Yeah, Julia is really adapting to being here in America, which is great to see, and it shows that she's learning a lot here in NXT, which is good to see. Yeah, absolutely. All right,
NXT sounded really good.
It was very good. And we smashed AEW that week. LOL.
We did.
I mean,
Sheesh.
all right, let's move on to SmackDown. It was pre-recorded.
Let's do
Yeah.
it.
SmackDown here. All right. From
Wait,
Milwaukee,
This past
Wisconsin.
Friday was
I just
pre-recorded.
finished- No, this
Yeah.
one wasn't pre-recorded. Are
No.
you sure?
The one before that was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This one was live. Yeah, because they talked about Giannis for 59 yesterday. So yeah, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We had Cody Rhodes come out here. A very aggressive Cody Rhodes. He didn't do his, his hi, how you doing, and all that stuff there, But he was very straight to the point. He goes,
This is not the
Kevin
learning.
Owens. What's that?
This is not the learning tree.
That's right. It's
Hi,
not the learning
guys!
tree. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, it was a different side of Cody, which we like to see.
Bro,
He
his
came out
promo
and
was
said,
incredible.
absolutely, yeah. He says, Kevin Owens, you crossed quite the line. I know you're back there. Would you please come out here right now? Kevin Owens, get out here right now. We then had, of course, Nick Aldis come out. He basically said that Kevin Owens is not going to be in the building because he was mad about the fact that he used a pile driver on Randy Orton. It was a move that's been banned for over 20 years in this case here. And then basically Cody goes back to Nick. He says, you're making a martyr of Kevin Owens. You're giving him exactly what he wants. You're hitting him in his wallet. This is the man who's driving a Lamborghini. I don't know if the message is going to land like you think. Let me handle this, Nick. Let me handle this. Kevin Owens is self-righteous. He's indignant. In short, he's an a-hole. And then Nick says, he didn't say it, but then Nick goes, I'm going to stop you before you say anything you're going to regret. You think this is about the money. I know it's not about the money. This is about the roster knowing that I know if you give them an inch, they take a mile. Yeah. So I don't know if it's like a small shot at AEW there, sort of.
I got that too. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, next thing you know, the inmates are running the asylum. When he said that, I was like, okay, that's a shot at
Slightly
AEW
under the radar shot.
Slightly under the radar that maybe not a lot of people will get. He goes, here's here as it goes. You can't be there until this situation is resolved. And Cody Rhodes then says, Nick, be real for me for a second. I know that you're in a role. You have to be objective. You have to be dispassionate, but I also know what's under the jacket. I know you're a former wrestler. You're still a wrestler. I know you're a good man too. Put yourself in my shoes for just 1 second. Imagine if you were in the back of that ambulance. Imagine you had to call his wife, to call his loved ones, and then you're the one saying that I don't know if his neck is broken. Imagine they ask why, you have to tell them, well, Kevin Owens is telling everybody under the sun it's because of me. So Kevin Owens is telling everybody under the sun it's because of me, Cody. WrestleMania 40 was the highlight of my life when Randy Orton says that I love you and congratulations. If I can't handle my business in the WWE ring, what do you want me to do then? You want me to buy a ticket? You want me to go to his house? You want me to knock on his door and kick his ass? Is that what you expect me to do? I don't know what you want me. I know that you don't want me to act this way. You don't want me to represent the company this way, but I'm a man. This is on your shoulders, Nick, and I won't be waiting for very long. And then drops the mic, walks away. So, it's
here's the brilliance about Cody Rhodes, man.
Yeah.
I think he can play both roles really, really well. He'll come out in a suit, kissing babies, shaking hands, and cut that baby face promo that people will bitch about, right?
Yeah.
Then he comes out in his wrestling gear, in his wrestling T-shirt, title in hand, and he'll cut that aggressive ass promo, babyface promo. That, in my opinion, it reminds me of when Cena first won his title.
Yeah.
And Cena never came out in the suit, which I think he's grateful that he never had to do something like that. But I think Cody is one of the best guys on that roster. He's one of the best workers. He's one of the best professionals on that roster.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We then had Jimmy Uso talking to Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, and he's basically saying that the OTC wants to talk to him in the locker room. But the fifth member, Sami says he has someone in mind, so he goes once again to the back to try to talk to somebody. We then had a first match in a new tournament for the new WWE Women's United States Championship, which I'm glad that they're bringing in a mid-card title. Early thoughts on what do you guys think of the new championship?
I think they look great.
The U.S. title.
Yeah, the U.S. title.
It looks great.
Really.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
Yeah, cool. And some interesting opportunity here because we had Bailey versus Candice LeRae versus the Fab, which was very surprising to see that she was going to be in this tournament. But based on what I've seen in videos from house shows and the fact that she's working with Natalia, hey, let's give a shout out to Natalia in this
I
case
say
here.
it every time, dog.
There's a reason why she was re-signed in this case here.
100%.
She wants to. She's not there to win championships anymore. She's basically there to be the next, head trainer for the performance center and all that.
And here's the thing about Natalia, man. I say it when she's on TV. I say it when she's behind the scenes. She is one of the most valuable women in the entire industry of all time, and I will say all time over Trish. I will say it all time over Charlotte because Natalia had her time to shine. Whether it was a strong women's division or not at the time, she had her time to shine. She has trained women that have been in every single company in North America and overseas. They have come to that dungeon and they have learned to work. When she's on TV with whoever she's on TV with, those women succeed because of her. Julia succeeds because of somebody like Natalia. Stephanie succeeds because of somebody like Natalia. Can Julia and Stephanie do more than Natalia can in the ring? Sure. But Natalia brings experience with WWE production. She brings experience with working on TV. And people can't seem to understand that's the value Natalia brings. I don't give a shit about her character. I don't give a shit about what anybody's IWC reaction is to Natalia. You got to understand the value she brings to that card.
She's the best thing for that women's division in this 100%. Case here. The fact that you signed her is the reason why B-Fab is out there getting an opportunity. And she showed up. B-Fab really did show up there. I really was impressed by her, with this matchup here. Very good, solid triple threat between the three. It ends up with Bailey rolling up B-Fab for the victory, and she advances into the next round. So they're starting out with triple threats in the first round, and then they're going to singles matches in the next round there. So nice way to get majority of the SmackDown roster in this tournament there and showing off there. So, Bailey advances to the next round. She waits for the winner of the next match, which will be Blair Davenport, Bianca, and Chelsea, I believe, is the next one. So
Chelsea should win.
That's intriguing who the next person will be against Bailey. So it'll be interesting to see who wins out of that one. We then had Chelsea Green and Piper Niven poking fun at B-Fab for losing her match, but then, of course, Mi Chin there comes out with a kendo stick saying, "You got a problem?" Then they back off. So, little tension there.
I have a theory about the tournament.
Oh, you have a theory about what?
About the tournament.
Oh, okay.
I think Tiffany Stratton is not going to make it to the finals.
No.
Oh, yeah. No way.
But I think she cashes in on it to become.
But then it defeats the purpose of the Money in the Bank sort of thing.
No, it doesn't, because if you look at it, you want to be the first of anything, right? Right. Like you want to be the first person to win a United States championship, right? Especially if you're a woman.
Sure.
But okay, counterpoint to that though. Does she wait until after the person wins it to cash in?
No.
Okay, well then, okay. I was gonna say, because that defeats the purpose of the first ever.
No. You wait till they're both down, and then you cash in. Triple threat.
So kind of like a Seth Rollins type thing.
Yeah,
kind of like a Seth Rollins thing. Yeah, for sure. Okay, that makes sense. Saturday night's main event
wouldn't be
too.
too mad at it, but I also feel like if you're gonna do that, get rid of the Money in the Bank, because we've seen nothing but main event cash-ins.
That's true. I don't think Money in the Bank should be a PLE. I think it should be a match at WrestleMania.
I would agree with that if the roster wasn't so deep.
That's true.
Because
I mean, you could do one Money in the Bank on night one, and then one Money in the Bank night two.
But but what I'm saying, like, so if you do that, do you run the idea of ladder matches into the ground doing that? Because if it's expected every WrestleMania.
No, but we've had a PLE every year for God knows how long,
Right.
based on Money in the Bank, and it's only been 2 Money in the Bank matches, right? Like,
Right.
except for when they were hardcore on the brand split. Um, I really think that they should take Money in the Bank and move it back to WrestleMania, like we had the first 5 years, and allow that to happen. And if you don't want to do one every year, extend the contract to 2 years.
Ooh, that would be too bad. That would be kind of
Do you think so?
2 years.
I feel like the way that they had Austin Theory hold on to that shit for as long as they did just to throw it away.
In a U.S. title open challenge, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. That was really bad.
Yeah.
Damian Priest's Money in the Bank was kind of long-winded.
But it was still solid. It was still a solid.
Yeah, it was solid, and we can thank Punk for how good that was.
Yeah, but also we've had memorable people that have held that Money in the Bank for as long as they did. Seth
Absolutely.
Rollins was one of them.
And that's what I'm saying about the mid-card thing. If you do that, do you cancel out everything else that was before that?
Well, if I'm no, I don't really think that. I mean,
the only reason I say that is because the women's Money in the Bank it's still fairly new. You know, it hasn't been around nearly as long, right?
Yeah.
Every female before that has had a successful cash in.
Yeah.
Now, all of
everyone
those cash-ins have been main event cash-ins.
Yeah.
So why go backwards and go to that mid card with somebody like Tiffany? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree with you. I love the first ever idea. I do, but with somebody as good as Tiffany Stratton is, I think going mid card with her with a briefcase would hurt her a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you could do this: have her win the tournament and do a Miz style type thing. Have her hold on to the mid card title, drop that, but then after she drops it, cash in on whoever's the world champion.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be mad if she wins the tournament there.
Yeah,
because that would make sense. Yeah, because she keeps eating pins, and I know you don't. I know with Money in the Bank holders, they are okay to eat pins in this case here because the championship is coming to them. But it's like I think in this case you got to kind of build up Tiffany a little more at this point instead of her being a lackey and having her being pinned all the time. Yeah. So yeah, if I'm not mistaken, her triple threat matches with Elektra and Naomi, I think, or I can't remember who the other person was, but. Yeah, I mean it would make sense with Tiffany there. So
yeah, that also presents a problem too because they're kind of in a way pushing Naomi.
She just had a world title match though, so I mean it's kind of like I feel like Naomi's fairly protected right now.
Yeah, she's very
true.
In a good program anyways with the rest there. So. Let's get to our next bet here. So then we had LA Knight. So he was actually talking with Sammy. That was the person Sammy Zayn was talking to. LA Knight literally just brushed it off. And then he went out there and did an open challenge, which was answered by Legado del Fantasma. But then he pointed out to Humberto, or Berto, whatever you want to call him. He basically said, I see the fire in your eyes. I'm going to give you a shot. I'm going to hit you so hard. You're going to call me daddy, but don't worry. Elektra's the only one that can call me daddy. Yeah.
Very good promo. Very good promo.
Very good promo there.
But damn, bro, this match was fucking incredible.
Yeah, and you know me, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Berto since he returned, especially with all that muscle he got. Yeah, because he looks very, very good physically.
I think he's the best out of the three, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he showcased it there because, it was a really good match there. I'm glad LA Knight was able to do his little springboard, whatever thing he did instead of slipping. Thank God he was able to do it.
He's got to stop doing that, bro.
I keep saying that.
It,
I mean,
he's got to,
or at least regularly, he's got to do that in big profile matches.
Yeah.
Don't do it often. Like, we don't need to see that often there because I'm afraid he might slip and get hurt and like tear an ACL or whatever.
He's not Kurt Angle.
Exactly. He's not Kurt Angle.
Definitely not Kurt Angle.
That's Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle.
Yeah. Solid back and forth there, and then ends with LA Knight using the elbow and then the BFT for the victory and retaining the championship. But then we get an unexpected return of one Shinsuke Nakamura. Go with some new face paint there and attacking LA Knights. So very interesting bringing back Shinsuke Nakamura out of nowhere. I mean, it's great to see him. I like
If they're gonna push Shinsuke, man, I need it to end with him holding a fucking title, bro.
Yes.
I think, well, at this point, yeah, because of the fact, if you remember, he's actually going back to Japan to do a show again in January. So I think this is the time where you're okay with LA Knight losing the championship and building up, and then you build up Shinsuke once again as a legit threat again. Because it's good to see him again, and I know he's going to cut some good promos in Japanese, which is going to be always intriguing because I've always liked those sinister, evil,
I
villains.
I don't understand English.
Sorry, don't speak English.
No, speak English.
Yeah, but it's good to see Shinsuke back there in the fold. We then had Jey Uso telling Jimmy Uso they need to tighten up before they go into the OTC's room, and they still haven't found a member. We then see they go into the locker room where we see Roman Reigns show up, the OTC. And then Sammy's like funny. He's like, I'm just gonna tell him. Like he's trying to see who's gonna have the balls to tell him we didn't find a fifth member. And as they were about to say it, the music of one Solo Sokoa and the other Bloodline showed up there, and they saw it on the TV, and they're like, "It's go time. Let's get it going." So then they had a little standoff there, like a showdown at the OK Corral, which was, you got a back and forth there with a brawl, which then had a surprise appearance of one Bronson Reed. As you recall, they all are looking for a fifth member, and apparently the Bloodline has found their fifth member in Bronson Reed. So we now know who the fifth member of that Bloodline team is, which the OG Bloodline does not have a fifth member, which hopefully we'll find out soon. In this case here. We then had Kevin Owens shoot a video from his car, and basically he's continuing this amazing new kind of like, why is it me? Why am I being the blame and all that stuff? And he basically will say that he's going to show up next week because he was told to, and it's going to be very intriguing how this goes here. Honestly, at this point with Kevin, the way that they're profiling Kevin Owens as like this like demented lunatic kind of thingy character is like, and the fact that Cody Rhodes is getting emotional every time, I wouldn't mind if they do a small drop off of the championship to Kevin Owens for a brief period, because like I think Kevin is due at this point, and I think with Cody's emotions, he may force his hand and may lose the title that way to Kevin Owens.
He lost to Brock Lesnar before he got the title. So, I don't think him dropping to Kevin Owens would hurt anybody.
No,
but I also don't want them to just like rush that happening either.
No, you have to make it count in this case here. So if you're going to drop the title to Kevin Owens, have him have a little brief run, and then then if it means Cody winning the title back again before Mania, which is fine, no problem, because then you have Orton in the back burner there, because we know that's where it's being built up with Cody and Orton there, because that's going to be personal, as we know. So it's going to be very personal. We then had the tag team title match between the Motor City Machine Guns and the Street Profits, a very aggressive version of the Street Profits, which
is good, bro.
Which is interesting to see there. Solid tag team match as expected between these four gentlemen. Good stuff there. It's amazing to see the Motor City Machine Guns, how fluent they are with their tag style moves.
Stupid good. Stupid good.
Amazingly good. Yeah, very, very good. Especially that one, I think it was Shelley put him forward in a Mudo lock, and then Saban just went phew in the door drop kick. It's like outstanding. But then it had an interesting finish here. We had one Milwaukee's own Tommaso Ciampa come out and basically just beat the crap out of all four competitors there. Johnny Gargano's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? He pushes him, and then, the frustration is coming. The black heart is coming back. from
I'm gonna say
Tommaso
this, dog.
Ciampa?
I have never in my life seen something so apparent that Tommaso Ciampa has completely and utterly outgrown Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
It's sad at this point because I've said it from the beginning, man. Since Gargano has came back, I have been super protective of my opinion of him. I have stood up for him because people unfairly attacked him. I think putting DIY back together in the first place was a mistake on both parties. But that said, Tommaso Ciampa needs to be on a fucking monster solo run because Johnny is he's the Ricochet right now. He has not developed. He has not evolved.
He's the Marty Jannetty.
Yeah,
Marty Jannetty.
He absolutely
He's the Marty
is.
Jannetty. He's the coward that jumped through the plate glass window.
Like take 2019, 2020 Ciampa out of the picture for a second because I fucking hated that Gargano. I mean Ciampa. He is one of the most fluent guys in that ring. And if he didn't have that neck injury when he did, man, he would have been, in my opinion, the greatest NXT champion of all time.
Yeah, and then think about when he was put on the main roster at start, and then he was in the mid card, if I'm not mistaken, before he had that other injury.
He's with Miz.
It's because he was with Miz. He had a profile match with Bobby Lashley for the U.S. title because they made him like a legit threat in this case here. But I mean, the fact that Hunter is not giving up on him, and they know that what he can do, because Tommaso Ciampa, forget the height. You see his freaking muscles? Here's an example. His super. I'm bringing this up. His super card, his freaking invasion photo. He's it looks like he's 500. He looks like he's 300 pounds in the photo. It's insane.
And when you look at Gargano, who literally looks like a fucking mark. I hate dogging on Gargano, man. I really do. He's a great guy, but fuck, man, he is just so underwhelming.
Yeah. Very vanilla.
And I don't know what happened to him. Okay, consider The Way when they were a thing in NXT, right?
Yes.
And then how he got written off by Grayson. When he came back after that, garbage.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. I don't know if Triple H needs to chirp in this dude's ear and be like, hey, man, we want you to improve or do something.
I want the Way Gargano back. I don't want this Gargano.
Look at Candice, bro. Candice is outshining her husband for fuck's sake.
And I'm glad that she's still in there. And I mean, they gave her the Speed Championship, so she has to be by default staying there no matter what. But in this case for now. But I mean, in this case here, what they're doing with Candice, finally giving her a showcase and I guess in this case here, try to be second fiddle to Nia Jax if we look at it now, because with Tiffany, it seems like maybe she might get jealous and all that such, but we'll get to that point later on in the show here. We then had Bayley talking with Naomi, hyping her up for a match, and then Bianca then goes to Naomi saying you can't trust Bayley. So I like that Bianca still has that tension with Bayley after all these months and years.
There's an interesting piece in this segment when you're done.
Yeah. And then she'll be facing, and as mentioned, Bianca's going to take on Blair Davenport and Chelsea Green next week in the turning match there, which we then get to the main event, Naomi versus Nia Jax for the WWE Women's Championship. A little too much in terms of the outsider interference, in my opinion, because I think it could have done without them in this case here. Especially that backstage one. I think you could have saved that for maybe another show, maybe on Raw, possibly there. There's very solid. We can all agree here, Nia Jax is one of the most improved wrestlers out there, one of the most improved characters. Yeah, good solid match between the two. We always know Naomi is a very good professional. We then had, of course, so as mentioned, we had Raquel and Liv attacking Bianca Belair and Jade Cargo, which means they can assist her. We then had then Tiffany Stratton come out, try to interfere, and then Bayley came out. to interfere with that, and then Candice LeRae that attacked Bailey, and then it ended with Nia Jax, as always, as expected, I should say, getting the pinfall after a nice Samoan drop for the top rope, which was
That
kind
should
of
have ended
solid
it
there.
right there, in my opinion.
Yeah, that should have ended it, but Nia has to get that big
Commentary
smash.
covered up for her though. They did say just for second measure.
Yeah, of course, and then and then she picks up the win with the Annihilator and the victory. We then get Roman Reigns at the
Before
end.
we get there, really quick.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
So before that women's tag team match, there was a little under the radar seed planted when Bianca said that Bailey can't be trusted, right?
Yeah, I said that.
Jade looks to her side. She looks back and kind of like side eyes it, and she's like, "Yeah, trust us." Remember what happened with the Liv thing with Jade and Bianca.
Oh,
yeah. So we might get that Jade and Bianca confrontation sooner rather than later.
Man, that could.
Apparently, they don't like each other in real life.
I don't see that.
That's the coach saying that.
Yeah, the coach is a piece of shit.
Whatever. And then we ended with Roman Reigns on a couch there. He's looking at his phone. Maybe he's looking at Tiffany's butt or something. I don't know. You can do a lot of memes with that phone there. But then he goes, "Call the wise man." So he tries to call him, but then we hear, "Your phone is out of service. This is a recording." So interesting development there at the end there. So nice.
I'm just gonna say when was Paul Heyman's phone smashed?
Oh, with Solo.
Yeah. But that was like the Friday after WrestleMania.
That's right. Yeah. So.
Why the fuck is Paul Heyman's phone still out of service? Be responsible, Paul. Be a responsible adult.
Hey man, he's still tweeting, so
yes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Maybe he's changed his number. Who knows?
He's hugging Kayla Braxton or Kayla Becker, whatever you want to call her. So yeah.
Something. But anyways, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so with the OG Bloodline and Bloodline 2.0, Bronson joining, I expressed this on Friday when it happened, and I'm gonna say it again, man. If Seth Rollins joins that team, I'm not gonna be happy. I'm not gonna be happy because I was really pissed off with how the online community treated Seth during Roman's title reign, because the no pop shit, and I get it was in character, but man, all the usual suspects that ran with that shit and be like, "Oh well, Rollins isn't the real star here, and he shouldn't be main eventing." It's like, bro, it was so fucking unbearable.
It would eliminate 2 years of what you had attention wise between Roman and Seth there.
Exactly.
If that is the case. Yeah.
And it would, on top of that, it would totally neglect Roman putting that chair in his back at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not only that, another gripe I have with this whole thing is when the Bloodline walked down to the ring to confront Solo and his Bloodline, Jay is looking like a lapdog again.
Yeah.
I was pissed. I'm like, bro, come on. Now we're not going to hear the heat shit anymore. Like, come on, bro.
I'm hoping, I think in this case, we're hoping this is just a one thing.
Bro, I'm
thing
hoping
where you just
it's
deal
not
with the
a
bloodline and such, and then comes back to being a single star.
Well, from my understanding, Netflix wants Roman on Raw.
Sure. I get that.
Fine.
And if that's the case, then you'd put Jimmy on Raw too, and then you got Jimmy J and Roman on Raw.
That's too much. I guess it makes sense for the Netflix thing. It makes sense.
They're going to need to do something important on SmackDown then, because SmackDown ain't going to survive with just Cody.
No,
that's true. Yeah, you got to do something, man. Well, they got some time, so hopefully we'll see what happens there.
Definitely. But this week was an interesting week in wrestling. We're leading up into Survivor Series, which is the first week of December, if I'm not wrong.
It's November 30th.
November 30th? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to be in Tennessee.
Of December.
Okay. I'm going to be in Tennessee for that. So that is going to be fun and interesting to watch. But anyways, we're leading into deadline. We're leading into Survivor Series, and then fuck, man, it's already Royal Rumble season.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yes.
right, so before we go, predictions for the Rumble for the men's Rumble. Who do you think is going to be either the final four or the winner of the Rumble?
Ooh, my goodness, this is gonna be interesting here. So I'm going Final Four in this case here because I don't think I can't really determine a winner at this point here. I'm gonna say Final Four is Punk,
Mm-hmm.
Cena, Roman,
Mm.
and I think of the fourth person here. Punk, Cena, Roman. I don't see Rollins in it. In it. I'll go what. I'll think about it, but yeah, that's what I think. I think Cena has to be in that Final Four because especially if it's his last Rumble, you want him at that grasp of trying to get that 17th world title, to end his career.
Yeah.
In this case here.
Chris, what do you think?
Cena Roman, I like that a lot. Cena Roman, Punk, and Jay.
Yeah, I would go with that. Yeah, I would go with that, Chris.
I think Jay should throw Roman's ass out.
Mm.
I really do, because again, going back to my comment not a few minutes ago, I don't like the second fiddle shit. I hate it more than anything because we saw at Crown Jewel, Jay got a bigger reaction than Roman did.
He did.
People, you can't manipulate that fucking crowd. That was Jay got a bigger pop.
Yeah.
And now you're subduing it for a fucking bloodline story again.
I know, but I think in this case, like I said, I think it's still a one-off from my opinion. I think it's just a one-off for Jay, just to help his family out, and then he'll go back to his singles ways. In this case here, but I mean, hopefully I'm right on that. But if I'm wrong, then whatever. In this case here, because like you said, Jay got a big reaction in Crown Jewel, so it's like. Yeah, he's still getting a big reaction regardless.
So
It's a singles guy.
I have an idea here.
Uh,
Jay throws out Roman.
uh,
Cena throws out Jay. Punk and Cena are the final two.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Like a 10-minute banger from 2013. Cena wins the Rumble.
Yeah, I'd be for it. I'm also thinking that if you're setting up for Roman and Rock at WrestleMania, this would have to be the starting point, right? What if it's the final four and they're all staring each other down and they're getting close, and then the Rock's music hits and everybody turns around. Roman is close to the ropes, right? Like he's recovering. He goes to stand up. He turns around. Rock doesn't even come out. You don't have to have the Rock come out.
No.
But his music hits.
Yeah.
And fucking Jay comes and eliminates Roman.
Yeah.
Right there. Boom. That was set.
He looks at the rest. Yeah, he'll look at the WrestleMania sign. He'll look at Roman. He'll be like,
"Yep,
go for him out." Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And then about the women.
Oh, so I would go for Cena winning. I would be okay with Cena winning the Rumble.
Yeah.
For the women,
I got a really good one for the women.
Okay. Sure.
I don't think that we've seen this woman win the Rumble just because she's held the championship every time going into WrestleMania. Charlotte. I'd like to see Charlotte win the Rumble.
I don't
maybe not win it.
No, she probably will be a Final Four. I think in this case here.
Well, okay, I'll go Final Four. Charlotte, Jordan Grace.
It's a good shout.
Yeah, Jade, and maybe an NXT girl. I don't know. Jakar Jackson. Not Jakar Jackson. No.
Lash.
Lash. Yeah, we'll put Lash in there.
So I think I'm gonna go Rhea, Charlotte, Roxanne, I think if you're bringing her up to the main roster, you make her a legit threat right away. Have her being that, kind of bratty situation there, and then I would say either Bianca, but then Jade costs her the champ. But either a combination of either Jade and Bianca, but then they both eliminate each other somehow. So because you want to build that tension too. So yeah, I'm thinking
I got Charlotte, Bailey, Becky, Rhea.
Yeah.
Final four.
yeah, Ooh.
Mm.
Kind of like a passing of the
Three of
torch.
the four horsewomen. And
Who
Rhea
wins?
takes out all of them.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that's true.
I think that'd be genius. I think that'd be a good way to, I guess,
Build up,
officially
yeah.
pass that torch.
Should be the first 2-time Women's Royal Rumble winner.
Yeah.
She would be. Yeah.
I'd be for it.
I mean, I just don't see anybody else being the winner in the Rumble for women.
Yeah.
Because again, it's the whole focus has been fucking Rhea Ripley.
That's right. Yeah.
And on both divisions, like nobody has been pushed as hard as she has.
No.
It's true.
No.
But I really like the Jade and Bianca idea. I'm 100% for it.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a Jade heel turn.
Yes.
Because
It's coming.
Bianca's too far of a face. Like she's the John Cena of the women's division. Turning her would be a bad division, or would be a bad move.
Yeah. No. You got to give it to Jade, and then it'll be interesting to see with that.
Absolutely. Do you think that there's going to be any surprise entrances in either one of the Rumbles?
Well, I'm not looking at this.
Joe Hendry would be fucking smart, bro.
Well, he did tweet out. He said, somebody said, "Where have you been?" He goes, "I'll come back to you in 4 months." I'm like, okay. Yeah.
I would love to see him in the Rumble.
Yeah.
I would love to see Zilla. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
I'd want to see one big name either debut or something. Bro, fucking Ricky Starks would be a huge surprise.
Yeah.
I think it'd be genius if Triple H somehow pulled that out of his ass. Bro.
Yeah.
Ricky Starks would be genius.
Gets him out of jail. He's the number 2 entrant.
Yeah.
To the number 1 entrant there. Yeah. It's like,
I think Ricky Stark would be a good one. I would like to see Ethan Page.
He's more than ready for that main roster.
Jordan Grace.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Jordan Grace. I'd like to see her again because she was dominant in that last Rumble. Roxanne Perez. But I would also I would like to see Matt Cardona, like as Matt Cardona come.
That'd be great.
It's been teased so much, like every year it's been teased, and like Chelsea Green's a part of the roster.
Always ready.
Yeah. And I know, Chris, I said this last time, and you were like, don't want to see it, but I would love to see Nick Nemeth come back as Nick Nemeth, not Dolph Ziggler.
I can agree with that, but I feel like if you bring him back as Nick, nobody's going to give a shit.
Oh, people are going to know who he is.
But if they don't see Dolph Ziggler is my point. They know him as Dolph. For what?
Yeah.
For a decade?
Yeah.
Cardona has been gone long enough.
Yeah.
Matt Cardona, not Zack Ryder. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to see any Hall of Famers. I mean,
I don't mind that. I don't mind the Hall of Famer stuff.
Maybe 1 is fine. Maybe 1 or 2 is fine.
Ray's fine with me.
Just not another Pat McAfee shit.
I like Pat McAfee.
I don't want to. That's your bullshit.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. He took a spot away from somebody. Yeah,
how about
Obafemi? Oh,
what? Who?
AJ Lee.
AJ Lee. That would be a nice surprise and highly unlikely, but I'm fucking.
Yeah, I know. It would be highly unlikely again.
I would like to see AJ.
I would love to see Nick Nemeth there, especially with the JBL stuff she's doing. Because
bro, JBL.
Yeah, that outlaw. The way he's looking with the black hat, the fact that he just clotheslined somebody out of nowhere. He's like, okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
like the fact that he clotheslined Joe Hendry. He's like, he talked to him. He's like, okay, no, I don't want to do it. Oh, okay, fine. Right there.
Joe Hendry just grabbed
him after that shit.
Yeah.
He like caught his hat after that clothesline.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Fuck, man. JBL, man. He's just doing
Okay,
side quests now.
there.
So good.
There is one Hall of Famer I would like to see, Kane. I'd love to see Kane in a Royal Rumble.
Yes, if he can still go though.
Yeah.
That'd be the problem because he's not very mobile anymore.
No.
Yeah.
But I would mark the fuck out to hear that music again.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, do you think with this Cena retirement thing, do you think we see a segment with him and Dead Man Undertaker?
I hope so, man.
Ooh.
I doubt
As not a match, but like a promo, kind of like giving him like a third degree or something like that, because of like Cena,
Or what if after his retirement match,
yeah,
right? They show like backstage where he walks back and Undertaker's standing there and he says, "Well done, kid." Like he did.
Oh yes,
at the beginning.
Yeah, you gotta do that. Yes, you gotta do that. Nice job, kid.
Yeah.
Bro, it's really crazy to think like how long Cena has been doing it for, and we're about to be in 2025 and he's done. Like every time I think about it, dog, like I'm fucking heartbroken.
Yeah.
I've said it time and time again. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. Nobody touches John Cena, in my opinion. Not The Rock, not Austin, as much as I love Austin. But I just truly think that between consistency and how long he was with the company, and he was literally through some of the bad times of the company to where everything is now, Cena's the fucking man.
Yeah.
This really is.
Absolutely. All right, so leading up into this week, what are you guys excited for, JR?
The continued build of Survivor Series, of course. It's gonna be interesting to see what they did last week in terms of tapings, like how they filmed it at all. Got another more Iron Survivor qualifying matches this week. We got a hint possibly of, I think I mentioned this to Chris. So there was a segment there with Eddie Thorpe, as he keeps complaining about getting an opportunity, and Ava says she's gonna have a match. My guess is, as I think you and I discussed this, I think it's time for Oba to get to that next level. So there's a possibility that Eddie gets thrown into the deep end.
If they don't put the title on Oba Femi, he needs to get called up.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, I think Oba should take out Trick for the title. Trick gets called up. Mm-hmm. Trick is ready. Fallon is ready. JC's ready. Roxanne's ready. Those are four really big players.
If you call up JC and Thing, do you call up Jasmine as well for Fatal Influence? No, you don't call her? Okay.
Way too green still.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because like I like this group with Fatal Influence there, because and I don't know if they're going to keep it together if they were to bring them up, but it's just like, it's like if you bring you bring Jasmine as well, but it's like, you're right, she's very green. She really needs still some work there.
If they're going to do anything with Jasmine, I mean, shit, you look at Ren Sinclair, who's probably been there about the same amount of time as Jasmine. Ren has surpassed Jasmine.
Yeah.
Jasmine has that really, really smooth Pele kick, but that's all she's got right now.
Yeah, that's
that soccer. Have much character other than cheeks in a good outfit.
Cheeks.
Going back to the Rumble. Another surprise entrant for the woman that I'd like to see, and just a one-off, Mandy Rose.
No way.
You don't think so?
No way.
I don't think she would do it. Unless she gets paid. Unless she gets paid OnlyFans money, she ain't going to do it.
Facts.
Very true. I would like to see it. I mean, because the woman's a fucking animal in the ring.
Here's my thing about Mandy, man. I was a really big fan of her NXT stuff. Really big fan of her as a person. I think she's a very driven human being. Very attractive human being at that. I feel like it's the same thing with Macy or Lacey Evans. They have both literally shown everything you could possibly think of to
very
their
true.
So bring Mandy Rose back for a one-off, right? Now you don't continue that one-off, which it's fine, but you're pretty much. Why fire her if you're just going to bring her back?
Yeah.
For something that counted, 10 years ago on fucking the Playboy shit.
Yeah. Or Rosemary from TNA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That woman is a fucking
She's
saint.
a very good worker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm really excited about wrestling this week, man. I don't have much going on this week. Next week is Thanksgiving, not this upcoming week, but the following week is Thanksgiving.
For you guys.
Our Thanksgiving, yeah. Yep. And I'm going to Tennessee to go visit my kid.
We got the 22nd with Jackie, don't we?
Today I have mine tonight.
Oh, you had your okay. So what do you know what it is? Like what?
I don't know. We're gonna find out. I'm doing mine tonight at 6, and I'll let you know.
Yeah, please do let me know because I don't know what it is.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah, until next week, we'll be doing it next week unless everybody's busy. Until next week, I hope you guys have a good week. Enjoy this week. Enjoy your family. Enjoy wrestling. And deuces.
We love you.
This is-
We love